Hello, ESS crew. It's Kara Lenorovitz, and welcome to our 17th installment and final installment of segment 2. We're going to jump right in. Housekeeping, much of this is going to be very, very familiar. You know the weekly learning plan is going to help you out, and there are some important pieces that are in there this week. This week on Thursday, we will have an optional drop-in session on Thursday the 27th at our usual class meeting time. So I will hold that Zoom room open for anybody within our own section to stop by if you'd like to just say hello, or if you have some specific questions as you're wrapping up your final pieces for segment 2. I will also continue to have office hours this week at their regular times. So on Tuesday from 8:30 to 10:30 and Wednesday from 1 to 3 in the afternoon. As usual, you can sign up and reserve a time for yourself using the Canvas calendar. And of course, in terms of upcoming stuff, there's not much left in front of us, but there are some important pieces. So one of the last pieces you have is your segment 2 exam. We'll look at that in a little more detail momentarily. I do want to remind you that if you have work that's listed as zeros, you are really running close on time for being able to turn that work in, and you're definitely going to be at a greater advantage if you complete and submit that work. So make sure you're following through, meeting the deadlines that are outlined here. So we've been going over those for the past several weeks. You already should have completed and turned in anything that relates to Module 6, 7, or 8. So we're really looking at Module 9, any remaining pieces that you have, and your Segment 2 exam. Now let's look at this visually as well. So we've been looking at many weeks at a time. We are in our last week together. So on Monday, you will receive the access for your final exam. So you'll be able to start accessing that exam on Monday. You will have availability of that exam through Friday the 28th. So you can map out your week and take that exam when you're most well prepared and when you have the best opportunity to give that your focused attention. What does that look in terms of the things that you have to do this week? So you have 3 required pieces and 1 optional piece. The 3 required pieces, 1 is your segment 2 exam. So you want to make sure you're following through with that, giving it your best attention. 2 is to catch up on any missing or late work that falls into the category that's still eligible. And then 3, this was my first adventure teaching through VTVLC. I know for many of you it was your first opportunity learning online as well. A lot of things went well. A lot of things presented challenges, both expected and unexpected along the way. And many of the improvements that we made in this class throughout the year actually came from feedback and suggestions from you. So I'm asking again if you'd be willing to share your perspective on this course so that I can take those pieces and continue to improve my teaching and improve the learning experience for future students. So you'll have an opportunity to give that input. I will emphasize that I will not look at your feedback until after grades have closed. So please know that your feedback, I want it to be honest and constructive. I'd like to know what went well, and if there are things that could have been better, what are they? You also have more perspective on learning in different classes throughout this year than I get to have as a teacher. So if there were things that went really well in other courses that you think would be helpful for me to know about, please let me know. And then the 4th thing is optional, and that is a drop-in session during our regular synchronous time on Thursday. Again, it's optional if you have questions or you want to just pop by to say hello. So let's take a look first at our website and then at our weekly learning plan. So first, landing on our homepage, I want to just point out a couple of things that you may or may not have noticed already. The first is right at the top. You will see a link to our exam topic review sheet. There are other ways to get there as well, but I wanted to let you know that link is right there and available for you. As well, if you still need access to a prior module exam from this segment, those module exam access codes are all listed right on our homepage, so they're there and easy to access for you. The other thing that I want to remind you about on our homepage is you all still have access to our student contact sheet. These are the pieces of information that you shared with me and approved to share with others in class for how you can get in touch with each other. Many of us are going in our separate directions after the end of this class. If there's somebody who'd like to reach out to, just know that you can still access their contact information there. All right, let's take a look at the weekly learning plan. It's going to look very familiar to you in terms of structure. The overview is very short, and that's because we really have 3 things we're working on. You won't see any new learning objectives, but remember the work that you're doing, wrapping up the whole segment, is going to cover every learning objective from modules 6, 7, 8, and 9. Reminders about communication and pacing. Again, make sure you're really carefully paying attention to those deadlines. And then the outlines of the 3 pieces of work that you need to do this week. So one of those is your segment to exam. Again, linked here for you is your topic review sheet. When you go click on that, whether it's from the home page or the weekly learning plan, you're going to find all of the pertinent details about your upcoming exam. So it's going to be available again from Monday the 24th through Friday the 28th. Make sure you take it and complete it during that time frame. I would recommend setting aside a 2-hour chunk of time where you know you're not going to have any other interruptions and where you know you can focus 100% of your attention on taking that exam. There is no upper limit in terms of the amount of time you take on that exam, so if you need a little bit more time, that's fine. You may finish it prior to that time as well. In terms of the exam weight, as we discussed in class, it is worth approximately 1.5 times the weight of a module exam. So that means it's an important one that you want to invest your attention in as a summative assessment, as it can have a good positive impact on your grade, and you want to end with a strong finish. In terms of the structure, it's 42 multiple choice questions and 3 constructed response questions, so it will be quite similar to many of the exams you've taken so far. I've given you some potential review strategies. Feel free to incorporate other things that work for you as well. Again, the access codes for the previous exams are here for you. And then you will see all compiled together the learning objectives going from Module 6 all the way through Module 9. So those are all there and accessible to you. Back to our weekly learning plan, I also want you to notice that the exam access code for that segment 2 exam is right in the weekly learning plan, so you may access it as soon as you are feeling ready to take that exam. The second thing listed here is your end of the year evaluation and reflection. That's going to take you to a Google survey. It looks like this. I need to update the labeling there. Sorry about that. It should say end of year course evaluation. You're going to be answering a couple of short questions, first identifying which section you're in, and then sharing with me some of your input about things that worked well and things that could be strengthened about our course. Again, I really appreciate your feedback and take it very seriously so that I can continue to improve my teaching and the learning experience that I have for future students. Going back to our weekly learning plan, the last thing there is the optional drop-in class. Again, during our regular meeting time on Thursday, I will hold a Zoom room open for you and your classmates should you want to drop by. You'll see the same information there about office hours, same helpful resources we've been having access to all along. And then your preview of upcoming work is really about closing things down for yourself and celebrating a little bit as you think about what's ahead of you for the summer. So let's go back to our review and cap off. All right, so 4 things this week, one of which is optional. So first thing, make sure you're wrapping up any missing work if that applies to you. 2, you're taking your segment 2 exam. Remember the deadline for that is this Friday the 28th. The 3rd is the end of course survey. Again, thank you in advance for your feedback. And then optional is if you are interested and want to drop in on Thursday, our normal class time will be open during Zoom for you to do so. As always, please feel free to reach out for help. And I want to thank you. It has been a fabulous experience to work with you this year. I wish you the best as you're wrapping up your coursework, both in ESS and your other courses. And I hope that you have a fabulous summer and an excellent next year. Take care.